Oh, uh-oh. Oh my God, catastrophic failure. Houston, we have catastrophic failure. Oh my gosh. All right. I think we've recovered, Houston.
Welcome to Smoke Shop.
Wow. Whoa. That was completely out of control for a moment. Only for a moment. Well, guys, if you can't tell, I'm just going to straighten up a little bit, and we're going to bring Mr. Hancock back into the picture. And assess our A-pillar. A for assess. So, I don't know if you noticed, but I bought myself a nice cheapo, I think it was at Lowe's, one of the hardware stores, welding hat. I didn't want to destroy my Vice Grip Garage Flex Fit because it's a nice hat. It's actually my most comfortable hat. I like Flex Fit. I never knew I would until I got one. So the day after I filmed the last Mr. Hancock episode where we welded in that patch panel, I called the seller that I bought that part from, and we spoke on the phone, and I explained to him what had happened, and he pretty much told me then that he probably wasn't going to do anything about it. He didn't actually say that. He certainly hinted at it. And I said, well, you know, coincidentally, I happen to be starting a new YouTube channel, and I have the whole thing on film, including all of the measurements that I took and everything showing you exactly what happened. So he said, great, shoot me that link, and here's my email address. So I emailed him that with timestamps of everything, of exactly what was going on. Didn't hear anything back. Figured I'd give him a good solid week. And finally emailed him again a good week later. Said, hey, haven't heard anything. Didn't know if you had a chance to look at everything and, had anything for me. And didn't hear anything back. This morning, I decided that I would go ahead and call the company back and ask to speak to him. Coincidentally, after many rings of the phone, he answered the phone. I'm pretty sure he owns the company. And I explained who I was, and he was just like, yeah. And I could just tell that he wasn't going to do anything for me. Long story short, he's not going to do anything for me. He's not going to go to the manufacturer and ask them to do anything for me. Basically, he just said, good luck, and, expressed to me how established his business was and that was my first order from them. And my response to that was, well, it could very well be the last, and he really didn't care about that at all. So, frankly, I came on here with intentions of bad-mouthing, and I'm going to take the higher road. If you're watching, buddy, good luck with that. Customer service just completely out the window, which is a trend here in, not saying this country, but in this country, at this point, not to get into a rant, the customer service is gone. Like I said, he didn't give a shit about me. You know, not a very large company either. Anyhow, as I was saying, I've decided to take the higher road, and I'm just going to take it as a learning experience, and we're going to fix the A-pillar repair. And we're going to discuss exactly what clearly happened, and we're going to take a whole lot of measurements. You know, literally in the email I sent to him, I said, I can understand having to nudge something a little bit here and there, but a half an inch, I would say, is a manufacturing problem. And again, when we get in there, I'm going to point out some things. You're going to go back into the light? Go back into the light, Mr. Hancock. Beep, 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 beep. Bet that was annoying. Okay, kids. Let's get in here and do some assessing. First, I need to find my ruler, which is probably not what I should use, but it's what's handy. So, we have a half an inch that we need to regain. These holes need to be down a half an inch. Strangely enough, these holes are a half an inch. So if I move the top of that, hole to here, where the bottom of the hole is now, that's theoretically where these things actually need to be positioned. So the bend here, the lip in this part, as a garage, guy playing around with a bug, again, I'm going to make an assumption that that is basically the structure of this part. Otherwise, you've just got a piece of sheet metal that would have no strength this way. When I talked to the seller on the phone, I brought that exact point up to him. This is the bottom of the part. Now, granted, there's a little bit of a gap here, but if you remember, this had spread. So I had a jack under here that was lifting this up. Even if that wasn't the case, that's 1/8 of an inch. I need a half an inch. That's 4 times that. So, again, my point being, if this is the base of the part, if I had taken this part and rested it on this heater channel and door sill, whatever this area here, if I had taken this part and rested it on there and welded it into place, these holes would still not be in the right place. And that is where, that's where my problem is with it. Because if this piece is molded this way, again, as a novice, obviously that just sets onto place and gets welded there and everything gets measured off of that, right? I measured everything else. What I didn't measure was this distance down to here. And that's where it screwed up. So, long story short, I'm going to take some measurements and make some marks and figure out exactly what I need to do to this piece to make this area be in the correct place. which is basically there. And we're going to double check and make sure that the spacing is correct to the top hinge and all that. And we're going to attach it down here. Then we're going to worry about filling in the gap that we now have up here. That is not the way that I originally obviously wanted to do it, because frankly I wasn't even necessarily going to attach it down here because I know that this needs to be replaced. So I may still only just tack it in a couple places, I don't know. But basically that's where we're at. Here we go. The measurement that we need right now is we're going to go from the bottom ledge on the indentation where the hinge goes. I know what that means. To the center of the top hole, gosh darn it, where the screw is 17 3/4 inches. I don't know why that was so hard. 17 3/4 inches. Now you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. From here to the center of the top hole. The center of the top hole should be here. Which again, center to center. From where it is to that line, it's actually over a half an inch. It's actually 5/8. That's just, yeah, literally. So, what that means is that I have to move this entire thing, regardless, let's just say it's not even attached there anymore. This whole section has to go down over a half an inch. 5/8. Okay? That's what I gotta do, is just cut this thing off. So let's go from there. Goody goody gumdrops. Okay, well, I'm just going to cut this off and we're going to start over from scratch. The other thing is, I want to make sure, okay, gas can is over there. We'll get you in here a little bit better, I guess, or try. Probably even. Yeah. Right at the lens, huh? I hope not. I hope I don't screw up the lens. I don't have much left. Alright. Now that it's off, let's make sure we get a good image of that part number. Because it's listed as two different things right there, which is very interesting to me. Maybe it was known as junk. Who knows? Tune in next time. On the door itself, the hinge on the door, the center of the top hole to the center of the bottom hole is 18 1/4. Okay, so we still have to come down. I think what we're going to do is try and flatten this all out some, I guess. Take that and make it more of a 90. That'll give us some more. Let's just see what that does. Alright, well, let's go see what that did. Okay. So that just moved it considerably, but now we have a huge gap there because this part right here is low. So I can see it, but from there to there needs to come up. I don't know if you can see it, but from about there, the rest of the way, all needs to come up flat. So we're going to cut that right there. You are on, right? Yep. We're going to cut that right there and bring this lip straight across to that point. So we're going to cut right there. I'm going to bring that lip up because this part does actually drop down about 1/8 of an inch. We having fun yet, kids? You know, I really want to use the air saw actually because it's a much less invasive cut. That should wrap up soon. Hopefully it's not totally washing everything out. But this is going to be noisy anyway, so. Put a fresh blade on here as well. We really haven't done much. We still got to bring that all way up. At least another 1/8 of an inch. I mean, by my calculations, 18 1/4. That's 18. That's 18 1/4. So, wow, we're getting pretty dang close. Well, if it's leaned out. But we're starting to get there. We need to bring this line up some still. More than some, but. So now this is holding us up. I literally could have fabricated a piece from scratch. Easier than dealing with this junk. So again, I don't know what I'm going to be able to use of that last clip because I had some choice language. But the inside part is now the part that's holding us up. So now I have to adjust this. Start grinding off on that. So that I can get the piece that is molded a particular way to fit in that position to do it correctly. Because it's molded completely wrong. Stamped completely wrong. Whatever. Like I said, I literally could have taken a piece of raw sheet metal and welded it in here and bent it and drilled holes and put nuts on the back of it. Easier than this. This is insane. And I paid money for this. Absolutely ridiculous. And again, I can understand having to nudge something a little bit or grind a little edge off or something. I got 2 days into making this fit at all, let alone right. Garbage. Yeah, we're totally destroying the metal, so I don't even know what the point is of trying to keep this lip on here anymore. Really. I really don't. I'm not gonna get angry. Speaking of garbage, this slot here that the hinge is supposed to slide into, not even close to the right size. So now I got to figure that part out. Boy, oh boy, this is so ridiculous. Oh, that's beautiful. Good thing I've got that. Perfect. I'll just do that. I don't know if you could see what I'm doing there, but I'm trying to make that slot bigger. So that just happens to fit right there. And since this needs to be trimmed anyway, and this needs to be flat, so I don't mind hitting it. Hey! It comes close to almost fitting. Sort of, almost. I can make that work, guys. So now all we gotta do is fill that huge gap, which isn't that big of a deal, I guess. Let's see if I can get any satisfaction trying to tack this thing into place. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I held that so long, but it sort of worked. Alright. Probably should have let that cool a little more, but it'll be alright. That's pretty much identical. What's the worst I could have to do? Cut it back out again? All right. Oh, I don't know where that wire just went. Oh well, that'll work. Yep. I just had a bunch of footage get ruined because somehow the button for the reverb got pressed. And so 15-20 minutes worth of clips were with reverb on, which, though cute a little bit at one point, got really irritating once I realized that it ruined some footage. So this is how things sound when the reverb's on, and if I'm trying to do something serious, it's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, right now we're just kind of tacked in there. I can move it around wherever I need to. But I want to make sure that the door is somewhat close to where it needs to be. Here we go. Hopefully this will work this time. Goodness gracious. Hey, how are we? Close at all? I probably want that further out. Or maybe two of them. So let's work our way in. Working our way in. What do you think, guys? Looking alright. There's the... Okay, there's the bottom. Oh god, oh my god, what happened? Everything happened. Okay. So, that's still not gonna work. I'm not saying we're not gonna be able to fix it, but this is getting absolutely ridiculous. Okay. Basically, I mean, it looks like I can get the holes to line up there, but I'm still too high up there. Like, what would you say? 1/8 of an inch at least, huh? Ooh, I don't know what that was crunching. Probably just a weld breaking. But anyway, the point being is that I still have to get this thing to come down another at least 1/8 of an inch. We'll figure that out now. Okay, so I'm not going to close this gap up or anything like that. All I'm going to do right now is put a base underneath this base to stabilize it. Because the next thing I'm going to do is put a plate on here and pound it down and see if I can get 1/8 out of it. This is going to be interesting. Oh yeah, that moved it. Looked like it anyway. Maybe it was my imagination, or maybe I'm just shoving the jack through the bottom. That's also possible. Or it just moved. It just moved in. All right, kids. Guess what? Yep, I took it back off. It's still not right. I'm actually seriously contemplating making a couple more cuts in this. So basically, I'm giving up on the idea of this being a viable part at all, and I'm just going to use this sheet metal and make the part that I need. So this part is completely schmangled at this point, which is fine. And we're still not done. So as I get this closer to the way it should actually be shaped, I mean, I've had to cut out this up here, beat all this out to get it big enough. And then I was just looking. I can't look at the camera and what I'm looking at. Blah, blah, blah. So, you know, if you look at that distance, it's what? Pretty much right at a pencil thickness. I'm trying to find the lens. There we go, like that. Something like that. I go there to that. You know, there's a good solid 1/8. So I'm pretty sure that these two holes are supposed to be centered in that space. So there's like all these little things that have added up to this being a piece of garbage. In theory, we should be where we need to be. Hi, I had this all set up to weld and it just exploded and fell apart. After I already found that I didn't have a good ground and fixed that. Now I'm back trying to put this back in place, but I can't because all the magnets just came loose. Are we having fun yet, kids? I can't. Well, that's where it is now. Yeah. Yep. I think it might actually be all right. Let's measure it. Oh, 18 1/4. Hey, we've got it either in place or close enough. Yes, can I do that? And then find somewhere to weld that in place? Probably not. Unless I just melt it. But we're melting it. Oops, it popped loose. That would have been better if it hadn't. Really would have been better if it hadn't. But that's all right. We'll get back in there and do it some more. I'd really like to get this attached a little bit better. Okay, it's in there now. If the measurements are even close. Yeah, I'm alright with that. We're gonna see. Well, first we have to test the strength of that tack weld. But if it's gonna hold it, we're gonna try the door. All right, docking sequence initiated. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Yay. Anyway, it fits now. I'm going to check a couple things, make sure it's where I want it, and I'm going to weld at least the bottom of this thing in. Maybe not completely, but enough to where it's going to stay where I have it. You've seen me weld and grind enough. Well, it ain't pretty, but it is thoroughly attached. That's currently my biggest concern. I guess I'm going to get after that here in a minute. I'll be on. Oh, because I didn't stick it in there. That's what she said. Wobble 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 meow 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 meow. I actually drooled there at the end. Anyway, good morning, kids. Back to the show. Want to see me pinch myself again? Oh my God, that hurt. That was sarcastic, kids. Let's go. Anyway, that is, I got that at a flea market. Replaced the belt and put a new sanding disc and sanding belt on it. This is a Dremel. Useful information, kids. So, I don't know about the school board sticker. I got it at a flea market. Anyhow, so that was the thing, was the guy couldn't supposedly find the belt or something. That's the model that this machine is. Whoopsie. And that is the belt that works for it. Drive belt. Hi, kids! The actual demographics of my channel are that the overall majority of my viewers are my age or older, actually. But hi, kids! Anyway, my little workstation, currently, which is funny because I have a 40 by 40 shop, and somehow I've tucked myself into a little workspace. But that's kind of how I like it. Well, first thing that we're going to do Assuming you're filming anything close to what I want you to be filming, you can see that. The point being that even though this factory edge is very strangely shaped from the stamping process, so you can sort of see what I'm talking about, maybe. I don't know if you can see that or not. I don't even know where to hold this. There we go. So yeah, it's kind of wonky from the stamping. However, it is nice and relatively flat and straight, and that's kind of what we're looking for a good weld, especially when you're dealing with flux core. But anyhow, yeah, we'll put that more like that. My head's probably right in the way, but yeah, when I push that way, that's a lot better. And that's what we're gonna do. And that'll also bring that up, that 16th or whatever, which will make the hole too close together. But whatever, we'll figure all that out as we go. It'll be fun. I lost the part. That part. So, full circle, back to where we were trying to be. I don't know if this is actually going to work or not the way I'm trying to do it. Just because it's such a weirdly shaped creature. And it's not working at all. Alright, I need to use a actual compass or something. Or my next trick. The amazing Schmoke, known from the world famous Schmoke's shop, is going to find the electrical tape. Oh, well, this will work for now. Let me just see. Ooh, my. Yeah, I mean, other than the fact that it's black, not that I have anything against black things, I just don't understand. Oh, dude, I might have to leave that in there. Oh, very controversial, but funny. All right. Speaking of controversial but funny, guess who's back? It's me. This is gonna smell terrible and make a big gooey mess. It's really, in general, a very bad idea. Let's do it. Self-confidence. Yay! It's fun. And exceedingly dangerous in the wrong hands. And again, this is not going to be perfect. But it'll work. Theoretically. Once again, all things are theoretical. Please do not use this as a plan on saving the world. Man, y'all should see this pencil sharpener. It's amazing. Maybe I'll show you sometime. At Schmoke's shop, we're always looking out for you, the viewer. I just went out of my way to bring this pencil sharpener over to... I just went out of my way to bring this pencil sharpener over to show you because it's cool and I didn't want to ruin the shot. So, this is a pencil sharpener. It's a Boston. I used to know the model number. I don't remember the model number. It's a 100 or something. Anyhow, I could never figure out how to operate this thing because there's no way to hold it down on the table, hold the pencil in, and crank the crank at the same time. And even if you do, because this is obviously some sort of a clamp, so if you put the pencil in there and clamp it, even if you like really clamp it in there and hold it down, it doesn't really do anything. However, what's really cool is if you do it correctly, then crank it. It's the first automatic pencil sharpener. It's moving it in there. I'm not going to grind this pencil up. I've already sharpened it. But yeah, it gradually moves it in there as it sharpens. Pretty amazing. I love it. Vintage, cool old stuff with Schmoke's shop. And now, back to the show. When we left Schmoke, he was taking a piece of electrical tape and using the freshly sharpened pencil, sharpened on a vintage, anyway. I know, it's ridiculous. It's all just ridiculous. Okay. So, basically we drew a line. I don't know if you can see that. Now I'm going to pull that tape off. We can see how bad my original line was. Especially if I quit wiggling that around. But anyway, the line further that way is the new line that we just put on there. I like that one a lot better. Speaking of ridiculous, as I don't have a base for my bandsaw yet, to turn it into a tabletop bandsaw, I'm going to have to come up with a way to stably attach this to something. And I think it's going to be something like that. What do you think the odds are that I can pull this off somehow? I'm pretty amazing, as I'm sure I've mentioned. Ooh, that's full of gasoline. Yay! Gasoline is your friend. Until it's not, then it will kill you. Holy cow, guys. Ridiculous! 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 Look what I made, guys! I has bandsaw. Now all I have to do is hope that it doesn't go flying off once it vibrates a little bit and chop off my arm. Highway to the danger zone. The things that we do for YouTube. All right, in theory, I mean, this is, if you ask me, this is amazing. And it's actually super stable. So, all I have to do is lock the trigger on. Tell me this has a little trigger lock. This doesn't have a trigger lock. Oh my God. This doesn't have a trigger lock. That's very unfortunate. But it's exactly what I need. Sorry about that little bump there, guys. So, I don't know how else to do this other than this. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's got to be done. Cords right there. All right. So after our exciting bandsaw experience, we're able to now... Just kidding. More terrible jokes. Confirm that this is not the right shape. And since I made that the right shape, I now have to make this the right shape. It's okay though. It won't be that hard. We just gotta shape it. Yeah, I mean, again, I gotta reshape this whole thing anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Sorry about my head, I just need to look at this. Yeah, buddy. This is gonna be another episode, kids. Because if I'm gonna get this out to you on Wednesday, which is today, it's already lunchtime or after lunchtime because of all the complications and distractions as usual. So if I were to try and do this, I would be rushing it and I would mess it up and I wouldn't get you the footage anyway. So stay tuned. So at this point, kids, I suppose we could hang the door and see what happens. If we mount the door carefully, we should be able to test for fitment. So let's do that. That'll be a good wrap up. Okay, guys. I don't know what's good and what's bad as far as footage, so I have made an executive decision that there's no way I'm going to be able to finish this and edit this video and get it out to you in 4 or 5 hours. I have the rest of the video already edited. The editing part wouldn't take that long, but I would end up rushing this, which is going to create an issue. So in order to prevent that issue, we're going to approach it from a different angle. And what we're going to do is wrap this video up. This is welded in here solid enough. This is where the door was hanging off before, was just the one. So between that and that, I should be able to hang the door, even though that space isn't filled yet. So, with that being said, I'm going to hang this door. Successfully, mind you. And if I don't, then we can wrap it up with another angry Schmoke session. I don't think I'm going to do any jacks or anything. I'm just going to try and put this thing on. Although I could maybe do it from this side. We'll try it. After all, my back isn't currently totally in agony. Everybody attached still, all microphones in play. Alright. We are liking that. Okay. Get these. Of course, I don't have the jack here anymore. So that's the hole. Crunch? What's the crunching sound? Oh, the crunching sound is that I'm in way too far. Right. Top and bottom. So. Okay. Well. Now, mind you, this is of course not perfect. Because, first of all, the bottom hinge isn't welded in place. It's just floating. Point being, there's no screws in this or anything. Bet if I actually, put it where it's supposed to go, that's not too bad if you ask me. Other than the huge gap right there, but we're just going to ignore that for right now. Again, I know it's out of adjustment. And then down here is possibly out of adjustment, but it also looks like somebody's slapped a bunch of Bondo on there. So we'll get into that. I mean, at the bottom of the door, that looks pretty damn close. It could be adjusted for sure. But again, nothing's attached yet. Guys, I'm happy with that. Yay, we're going to end this episode with Happy Schmoke. Happy Schmoke. Have I mentioned my shop is a mess? Happy Schmoke. Let's just do a quick check on the subscriber count. And I'm going to tell you a quick story. YouTube Studio, we are currently at 219 subscribers. That is up again, at least a couple. The Sunday video I uploaded, basically as a, what am I called? Creator. As a creator in the Creator Studio, I am capable of scheduling a release of a video. And basically, the way I was told to do it by YouTube gurus is when I upload the video, I put it into private. Then once it uploads, I can go through and make sure everything's right and double check everything and put in my end screens and all that and schedule a time for it to go public from private. Well, the Sunday video went public at 4:20 p.m. on Sunday. I glanced at the phone just to make sure that it had posted. It said on my YouTube Studio that it had posted as public. I went on with life, took care of some errands, ran to the store, came back home, sat down and was going to eat some dinner and turned on my TV, went with my personal account to view my Schmoke Shop video. And it came up on my screen, which a private video does not do. But when I clicked on it, it said, this video is private. Long story short, what that does is creates a situation where even though people can see that that video is up there, when they click on it, it says that it's private, so they don't actually, the view doesn't count. And the initial views when you release a video are what put it out into the YouTube universe. So by not having any initial views, because everybody went, oh, it's private, and clicked off and went on with their YouTube viewing experience for that day, that initial wave that is what gets you to launch and take off in viewership didn't happen. So my Sunday video has flatlined. It's sort of starting to pick up a little bit because I have specific search terms, and it'll get some traction eventually. But man, that was a heartbreaker. That's about 6 hours of footage edited down over a period of about 8 hours, 9 hours, to make you a 1 hour video. Anyway, let's get this edited and get it out to you, and then we'll go from here on finishing up this door. But I feel a lot better than I did last time we made a door pillar video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.